Hi everyone, welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Today I'm joined by Paul and we're going to be talking about Everton's 3-1 loss at home last night to Manchester City. First of all, Paul, just your general thoughts on the performance in the game last night.
Obviously, no results, no loss is a good result, is it? But it's Manchester City. They're on an incredible run. Was that something like their 17th straight win in all competitions?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they're running away with the league, and they're going to win it by maybe an even bigger distance than what Liverpool won it last season. They're the best team in Europe at full strength, as far as I'm concerned. So, is it shocking that we lost to them? No. Is it disappointing? Yes. Was the performance better than against Fulham? Yes. But is that something to be proud of? No. So, yeah, you don't like losing at home, but I think anyone who expected any different was really kidding themselves.
Yeah, I think it was just built up, wasn't it, for us to get beaten. City were always going to come and give us a good game. And, after the Richarlison equaliser, which was a bit, it was jammy, wasn't it, really? Just hit the post and went in off him, really. There was a bit of hope that we might have got back into the game, but I think we just, after the, 60, 70 minutes, we just started to tire, and City, came into their own and decided to have that, 10, 15-minute pocket where they seemed to just win games. Whenever I watch them, they seem to be able to win games in 10, 15 minutes and then just completely close down. And when you can bring on players like De Bruyne and players they brought on last night, and it's going to be tough. And yeah, they probably will go far in the Champions League, and we've just got to hope that we can beat them in the FA Cup at the end of March. So obviously that's going to be a different City team. That's going to be probably a different Everton team as well.
I'd hope so. I mean, I didn't fancy us to win this game when it was supposed to happen. Back on, was it?
It was December the 12th.
January 28th or December 28th?
It was December 28th, yeah.
It was sometime during that hectic period.
I think it was before Christmas, because I remember I was Christmas shopping and I remember I was Christmas shopping and it got cancelled at the time.
Yeah, it was coming 2 days after, I think, the Sheffield win, where basically everyone was worried that the players were just going to be out on the feet and they were going to get tonked. But City obviously had the corona outbreak in their squad and got it cancelled last minute. So, but I don't think we would have beat them even if they'd have played the game back then. I just think City are just one of those teams where you effectively got to write off those 2 games every season. It's not nice, but it's just realistic. Whereas if you take any points off them, then it's a bonus. And if you get them in a cup, sadly we have, you can pretty much forget about it and assume you're going to get knocked out. I mean, well, we can always dream and cross our fingers that we can pull that one off, but I'm not expecting us to get past them in that round either, sadly. But as you said, I think City are just, they've been under Guardiola that long now and they're so well drilled. They just seem to have these moments in games where they can really hit top speed for about 10, 15 minutes, as you say, and they could just take the game away from you in that instance and then drop down several levels and just manage fine. And Everton, even if we'd have been at full strength, would have found that really hard last night to come back after falling behind 2-1. So it's not shocking. But I will say this, there were several players who I felt really let us down again, and the usual culprits. And against Man City or not, I still don't think we should be that off the hook.
Well, we'll go on to it later in the episode, mate, of the players that we're not fussed on. Just want to talk about the home and away form, because I think that's the fifth home game that we've lost now. But there is an argument for that. With no supporters, what is the advantage for the home team? Is it just you don't really have to travel? So I think the away form obviously has been brilliant. The home form's not been very good. What do you think is the problem with games at Goodison Park this season?
A lot of it is the fact that we don't have the supporters there. For all the stick that supporters get sometimes when we're at Goodison saying that we're too negative and that we're too quick to jump on the team and it causes anxiety, that's a wash for me, mostly. I think the supporters show an awful lot of patience with this team over the years, and we only seem to really get really, really mad at them and air it in the stadium when we're losing games that we should absolutely not be losing. I mean, some of the people who complain saying Goodison is too toxic. Imagine some of these players who feel that's negativity and go into the shells of playing for bigger clubs. Imagine they were at Old Trafford under Ferguson in that sort of environment and they weren't winning, or they were going to Real Madrid where you get booed even when you're winning. You've got to have a lot of mental strength, I think, to be an Everton player playing at Goodison, and sadly not all the players we bring in have that. But we are missing the fans, and I also think we've had a couple of occasions where Ancelotti's just got it really wrong tactically. A couple of times away from home as well, but more at home. I mean, the Fulham game, he's completely got it wrong. I thought the Leeds game a couple of months ago, he got that one wrong as well, because he started with Delpha's wing back in that, from what I remember. And I think it's just been a collection of things. We've been a bit unlucky. We've had a manager mess up his teams, and we've really not benefited at all from not having the fans there. So I think the home form will sort itself out, and it will be better next season. But it's hard to stomach at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to stomach the fact that the top four is right there for the taking, and we're losing these games at home and dropping points. Like, there's Fulham, Newcastle, Leeds, and West Ham. That's 12 points right there. We've dropped at home when arguably we should be winning all four of those games, and probably in a season where we've got supporters in the ground, we usually do. Like, our home form against West Ham is really good. Fulham we should be beating, because we don't think we'd ever lost we hadn't lost a home game in a mad amount of years against them. So
never lost a home league game to Fulham.
I think it was the cup, wasn't it? I think they beat us once in the cup at Goodison years ago, like 50 odd years ago or something. But that's usually a banker every season. West Ham never come to Goodison and win. Bar a couple of performances where they've played really well against us. I'm used to Everton always beating West Ham at home. And then there's the Newcastle game which we got tactically wrong. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. Ancelotti getting his teams wrong is one of them, and obviously not having supporters in the ground is another one. But it makes you wonder. There's no supporters. Obviously, it's a different thing, isn't it? But going away with such a completely different team, and I think it's got to be put down in some sort of way to tactics, the way we play. We're so much better at, and obviously last night we weren't very good at it, but we're so much better at absorbing pressure and hitting teams. And against the team that are just going to sit in against us, we're not going to be able to beat them, and that's a sad fact. And that's where we're going to lose the rest of the points this season. And it's just annoying, because usually you can bank on Everton's home form being decent.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you've hit the nail on the head when you say, when we go away, we're happy to just sit deep and defend and sort of grind out results rather than go searching for it. I don't know whether Carlo, when we're at Goodison, feels the pressure to kind of be on the front foot more. But I'd say to him, or anyone who believes that, this is the one season where you don't have to do that, because fans are not in the stadium there to whistle when they get bored. This is the one season where you can play as negative as you like at home, and it makes no difference as long as you get a result. So I want us to go back to just being the same that team that can go away to Leicester, can go away to Wolves, and can grind out really rugged defensive performances, can go away to Manchester United and not just sink away as soon as we fall behind, like we do at home a lot of the time. I really hope Carlo is learning from these mistakes, because I really like the fella. I think he's the best Everton manager we've had in God knows how long, but you can't escape the fact that, or you can't deny the fact that he has made tactical bloomers this season. There's been a lot of games where he's got it wrong and it's cost us points. And if it was any other manager who was doing this, I think we'd be a lot more critical. And it's only fair to say that when the manager gets it right and you give him all the credit, you've got to give him all the blame when he gets it wrong tactically. So I'm hoping he learns from it, and that this is just a bumpy road that we're going down, and that next season when the stadiums are full again and we've got more players that he obviously wants to bring in, that things will slowly come together and click better.
Yeah, to be honest, Paul, it feels like some sort of weird social experiment, doesn't it? It's like, let's have an entire Premier League season played in empty stadiums and see what happens, because the league is slightly different to what you'd imagine it to be. And And I agree with you, but we can see the progress under Ancelotti. Hopefully, once he gets some of his players in and we get supporters back in the stadiums, things change around. As we said, the away form has been a lot better. We're still close to the European places, so there's a lot to be happy about. As we're in the quarterfinals of the cup, which will be a different City outfit, I think. Coming up against them, obviously Pep will still have them drilled to win the game. But you never know with Everton. Hopefully, we'll have all our first team players back then. And we'll have players like Calvert-Lewin who have been so important for us this season. And we've missed Calvert-Lewin a couple of times this season, and we never play well when he's not in the team. So anyone who bashes Calvert-Lewin for going on goalless droughts, I think it's stupid, because as soon as he's not in the team, Luca Dean doesn't play as well, Richarlison doesn't play as well. So I think he's a massive player for us, and we haven't really realised it. Obviously, he scored a lot of goals for us, but I think he's a lot more important to the team as a whole than than we let on, really. Another player who's been important for us this season, who went off injured last night, is Yerry Mina. Went off after 18 minutes, I think it was. So he's going to be missing for the derby. So yeah, how do we plug that hole? Because we've liked to play the four centre backs this season, haven't we? So yeah, Paul? How do we plug that gap without him?
I put Godfrey there in the centre back role and put Holgate at right back, because I don't want to see us play Seamus Coleman at right back. Really not. Holgate's not in great form, but I'd feel a lot better seeing Holgate at right back than I would at centre back.
At least he's athletic and young, and he's got a bit of pace and he keeps up with the game. He can be erratic at times, but
no, but at right back though, there's less for him to concentrate on. He's just got to focus on the winger not getting across from him, has it? And if he switches off, then the chances that Liverpool can cut us open, like they're going to, are a bit less when he's stuck out wide, close to the line, than he is when he's in the centre of the box. So it's a shame for Mina. I like Mina. I know a lot of people don't, and think he's probably the centre back option we should be looking to move on if we're going to bring through the likes of Branthwaite and Godfrey properly. But I like Yerry Mina, though. I think he has a lot more good performances than he has bad performances, and hopefully he's not gone too long. I think there would have been an argument that even if he was fit, not to play him against Liverpool, because I definitely want to see Godfrey at centre back, and it's a choice between Godfrey and Keane or Godfrey and Mina. Maybe Godfrey and Keane would be the better partnership to play against Liverpool's forward three, because the Mina, we know he's very tall, but Liverpool could throw crosses in the box. No, not really. It's not their game, is it? You'd want is he a great at tackling the ball, last ditch tackles, man marking? He's okay, but is he as good as Keane at that? Probably not. So it's not a massive miss. It's disappointing, but if there was a player we were going to be out for the derby, he's not. I'm glad we're missing him, and we're not going to be missing DCL or Alan, because as far as I know, DCL are going to play in that game where they were just not risked against City.
Yeah, and thoughts on City, Paul? Because I was speaking to Rob from City Extra, and he was talking about the run they've been on this season, and they've got some real standout players. But Phil Foden was marvellous again for them last night, and he obviously scored the opening goal. Just quickly, thoughts on City, because I think when Everton lose a game, it's easy to dissect where Everton have gone wrong, but I think. And obviously we're an Everton channel, but I think it's fair to say that City last night was just was a steamroller of a team, weren't they?
They're the best sides in Premier League history, Guardiola City, as far as I'm concerned. They're better than the Arsenal Invincibles. They're better than some of Ferguson's peak sides for United. That's probably better for me, even though I'm a big fan of this team. Better than Jose's Chelsea team from the mid-2000s, even though I really, really like that side, and I think people forget about it. City, I think when they hit top speed and they go through the gears, there's just no stopping them. There's no team in the world that can keep them out, and there's no team that's probably going to be able to outscore them. I know Liverpool with had a great run last season, and everyone was falling over themselves to beat them. But I think Liverpool at their absolute best versus City at their absolute best, I'm still picking City to win it all day. And I know they weren't at the level this season, but that's the sign of a great manager, that even when there's a drop off, they can get back to the top again, which is what City's done. So they're going to win the league this season, and I'd be shocked if they didn't win it next season. I think they'll win at least they'll win the league 2 seasons out of 3 for as long as Guardiola's there. And can they win a European Cup? They're well capable of it, but it's more of what can they get past that mentality block that I think they've got. But which Everton have sort of got, we've got it in just all trophies, haven't we? Where we get to quarterfinals and semi-finals, and we just can't seem to get over the hump. At least in the last 20 years, and City have got the same, but they've got the manager, I think, who's been there and done it. And if he stays there for another 4 or 5 years, then I think City will win a European Cup in that time. So, yeah, best thing I can say about City is I think they are, without a doubt, the most quality Premier League team that's ever been.
Yeah, fair enough. Praise, love them. And we'll end it there. Try and end it on a bit of a positive note. Hopefully we're able to beat them and get our revenge in the FA Cup. And we've got Liverpool coming up next. Doesn't get any easier going away to Anfield. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel for the preview of that game. We'll try and be as positive as we can. Obviously, after losing a game, it's hard to be really upbeat in that. But after being given a bit of time to look at it, we're just going to have to keep moving on now and keep winning as many games as we can. But obviously, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.